Good evening and welcome back to Behind the Mystery. My name is David Richardson.
And I'm Kim Cox. This week we will be looking into the Illuminati and discussing the strange coincidences that appear in the long-running television show The Simpsons.
Also, one of our audience members will once again test their abilities as a forensic scientist. But as this is the last episode, we wanted to take a look back at the series. So here's a short video of some of our favourite bits.
Good evening and welcome to Behind the Mystery, the show that pushes your brain to the limit on all things mysterious. My name is Miles Anthony.
As usual, my name is Dave Richardson, and this week's theme is the paranormal. Looking into the Barron Trump time travel conspiracy, we'll be looking into the popular Bermuda Triangle conspiracy theory. This week, we'll be looking into whether your devices are spying on you. The main storyline behind it is this.
Winston Churchill claimed that during a visit to the White House, he experienced a paranormal visit of some sorts, none other than Abraham Lincoln.
Wow, okay. Wow, that's quite something.
That is some creepy stuff.
That is.
What do you think about that?
Well, you know, Liza Land's body was obviously found in the water tank. Yes. Now, as we know, the
Almost drowned her in the bathtub.
That was intriguing.
That kind of support the theory in a real world.
Still to this day, the plane and missing passengers have not been found.
Poll. As the suspect leaves the room, the victim scans around the room looking for an object to try and break the cuffs.
That, you know, nobody is safe from the effect.
None other than the mystery board.
No, the mystery board.
So if you excuse me,
bring it out.
Deserves to go on the mystery board.
Yep, I agree with that. This is obviously the time in the show where we like to join the mystery board. So we'd like Kim, where we like to go to our mystery board.
Yes.
And start writing. So the Mars rover died, and its last words were something quite powerful. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye.
Let's take you back to Germany on the 1st of May, 1776. A German law professor named Johann Weishaupt created a secret society. This secret society was named the Illuminati. The Illuminati were all about enlightenment and gaining power. In its early days, this society was made up of around 6 to 9 people, all of whom were said to want to take over the world. Over time, it was rumoured to have somewhere between 650 and 2,500 members, but no one can know for sure.
Now, the Illuminati did plenty of unusual things, ranging from not having any members over 30, for they were not to be trusted, to using symbols to identify themselves, such as an owl. Historians like to think that the Illuminati were only mildly successful in becoming influential. However, there are many who believe the all-powerful group dominates the world to this very day.
In 1785, the Duke of Bavaria banned secret societies, including the Illuminati, and instituted serious punishments for anyone who joined them. Most of the group's secrets were disclosed or published, and it was said that the Illuminati disappeared. documents found in the highest-ranking Illuminati members' houses confirm some of the spookiest Illuminati theories.
Almost immediately after the Illuminati were disbanded, conspiracy theories about the group began to spring up everywhere. The most famous conspiracy theory about them was that of John Robison in 1797. He accused the Illuminati of infiltrating the Freemasons. Another theory by Augustin Barral, who in 1797 claimed the group were behind the French Revolution. After this, the Illuminati were only that of myth, until in the mid-1970s, a literary trilogy was published, giving the group its spooky but simultaneously laughable image it holds today.
So there obviously seems to be quite a web here of people in the Illuminati, with obviously the French Revolution being a while back now.
Well, yes.
I mean, that's quite frightening to think that they could go back that far and could cause so much of an effect as that.
Also being linked with the Freemasons, and
Yeah.
we know the Freemasons exist today.
Exactly. So from this, the Illuminati were seen as nothing to be worried about, if real at all. They were even said to be the source of the lizard people rumours. At the Rockefeller Diamond Awards ceremony, Jay-Z and Jamal Crawford can be seen making a diamond with their hands. Or is it the Illuminati triangle, as many people believe?
So now you know a little bit more about this infamous secret society. Do you think they were real? Remember to tweet us at _BTM show.
What do you think about the truth is about the society? Is it possible that they are slowly infiltrating the modern world?
I don't believe in coincidences, and it's highly likely.
So you think that there most probably is
Oh, I think there probably is.
quite a connection to this whole situation? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
What is there a particular reason you feel that?
There's no coincidences. There's no smoke without fire.
Well, that is true. That is true. There's definitely no smoke without fire.
So where did it come up? You know, how many? No, definitely existed. If it doesn't today.
Okay. In the film The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter apparently says, "Hello, Clarice." But this never happened. What he actually says is, "Good morning." Good morning. That's how random.
The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, was said to have died on the 25th of August 2012. But there is common belief that he died a year later in 2013.
He died in 2000. So, like the Queen, 2 birthdays, he's died twice.
Oh, yeah. You could look at it like
That's a new
that.
one, isn't it? The Mandela effect also frequently occurs in geography, as many people remember islands, landmasses and countries in alternate locations. One of the most common alternate memories is related to Sri Lanka. A lot of people remember it being located in the south of India, not southeast, as the maps show. So, a country completely in the wrong place.
Yep.
Now, when I did geography, that was, as far as I was concerned, I imagine the same with you.
Well, it was a long time ago for me.
All right, okay, all right.
Leonardo DiCaprio won his first Oscar in February 2016, but some people recall him winning an Oscar several years earlier.
Yeah, I can't say I ever remember him winning an Oscar. He was always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it came to the Oscars.
Well, yeah.
Until now, he's now married with the Oscar. Sex and the City, the show for many years, has been mistaken for Sex in the City, but in fact it's actually called Sex and the City. There's been pictures surfacing of a perfume called Sex in the City. I mean, that is really such a Samantha thing to do. Such a Samantha thing.
I thought it was in the city. Pikachu is one of the most iconic characters of the Pokemon series. Fans find him recognisable with having a black tip at the end of his tail. However, this is not the case at all. His tail is actually all yellow.
Now, that's a real shame because, you know, he's meant to be the very best.
Yes.
The main question to ask here is, would you trust a memory that felt as real as all other memories? And what if other people confirm this memory too? And what if the memory turned out to be false? Well, that certainly was very insightful. Remember to let us know the mysteries you've enjoyed the most over all our shows.
But now it's time for the last forensic crime scene of the season. Remember to tweet along as our guest attempts to guess exactly what happened here.
Hi and welcome back to another week of Forensics Crime Scene. I'm Chloe and today I'll be joined by Beth. So, can you tell us what you could have thought happened here?
Obviously there's an outline of a dead body on the floor, but there's like loads of glasses on the side, so I'm guessing there's more than one person here, maybe 2 or 3 people, and it looked like they were cooking dinner.
So, yeah, you are quite correct with the glasses situation. There was more than one person involved here. There is also another glass here which isn't by the washing, so could that have possibly been part of the scene?
Possibly. It could be anything in the glass. I'm guessing it's something from the glass because it's near the body. Could be alcohol poisoning or something else, I'm not quite sure.
I mean, if you have a quick look around the kitchen, is there anything which could have possibly been put in the glass? And you have to remember that things in bottles doesn't actually mean what it says on the label.
There's some like sunflower oil over there. There's some cleaning products in the corner over there. There's some lemonade up top there, could have been that. There's some alcohol behind that, so could have also been that. There's some white spirit there.
So looking around, and we have seen white spirit, it is the most likely thing which is in the glass. However, the toxicologist is still getting back to us on the results on that.
Okay.
So whilst we're waiting for that, what do you think could have happened?
Well, since you said that the white spirit was involved, and there's loads of alcohol about, maybe the victim was drunk and wanted some more alcohol, and they mistook white spirit for vodka or something. So when the victim drank it, they got poisoned.
If we look back to the glasses and we thought that there was more than one person involved, it could then bring it in that there could have been a disagreement and someone else had possibly put the white spirit into the cup so that the victim had ingested it. We're currently still doing fingerprints on the bottle to see if there's more than one fingerprint or it is just the victim's one, and then we can clarify what has happened here.
Okay.
This week on the show, we're going to be debating America's longest-running sitcom, an animated programme, the phenomenon that is The Simpsons.
With 30 seasons and counting on air, the critically acclaimed cartoon is recognised as one of the best shows of all time for its humorous outlook on politics, pop culture and everyday family life. Throughout its more than 600 episodes, the creator Matt Groening and his team have been able to predict several major historical events that are to happen in the future, not just in America, but also globally.
So, let's get started with our debate. Beware, there may be spoilers from the most recent episode of Game of Thrones. Our conspiracy theory for this week is that The Simpsons can predict the future. We're going to be specifically focusing on 2 instances. The first is the 2016 presidency of Donald Trump that was predicted 16 years before it happened. And the second is America's Ebola outbreak in 2014 that was predicted in 1997.
Joining us in the studio today is Adrian Butterworth, hopefully to shed some light on his thoughts about these amazing predictions. Hello, Adrian.
Hopefully, yes, absolutely. No, I mean, The Simpsons has always predicted quite consistently over the years, seemed and appeared to predict the future. Now, some of those things are fairly obvious. Any one of us could say, well, Trump, he stood to be a senator. He always expressed an interest in
I'm just
politics.
going to go to the mystery board.
Okay.
Oh, okay. He always expressed an interest in politics, and so to a certain extent, that's a reasonable conjecture that at some point. Now, there was a great picture of him on an escalator that matched up very close to a real photograph.
Picture that, yes.
But even so, since shot in a mall, there are people, of course.
It's a regular occurrence you're going to see at some point, him in a mall.
I think that's the point. But I mean, there are also other things like the three-eyed fish in an early. Now, yes, exactly. Now that is interesting because that was a bit more difficult to predict that the nuclear power plant would. It's almost a trope and a joke because, as we now know, nuclear power unfortunately doesn't give you superpowers. If you fall into a nuclear power station, you don't tend to turn into Spider-Man. You tend to die.
Yeah.
Having said that, the three-legged fish that ended up in reality being found in a lake was just downstream
in Argentina, I think, as well, wasn't it?
Indeed, just downstream from a nuclear power reactor.
What are the chances of that? Yeah.
There we are.
That one's obviously quite a rarity. And then obviously we've got the most recent one, which is obviously the Game of Thrones situation. This is this very well-known TV series that's gone crazy.
Never heard of it.
Are you living in a hole?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, obviously living in a hole.
Something to do with dragons or something?
That's the one.
Right.
So they did, Simpsons did a spoof version of it, as they do many spoof versions on many different things. And they predicted something that would happen in season 8 in the last episode that's happened 3 years before.
Yeah, and that's probably actually to do with another phenomenon, which is very important to what's going on here. In that, when The Simpsons predict something, they're a show that goes out all over the world. It's incredibly popular.
Agreed.
And there are lots of instances where people have actually picked up those ideas and made them reality. And I think that's probably what's happened in the GOT situation.
Yes.
So
so you know it's called GOT then.
So, so there was a few years ago. There was the tobacco plant invented by Homer, which I guess I'm not too sure. I guess it's a combination of tomato and tobacco. I don't know. Weird, whatever it was. That was then a viewer at home, an inventor, got together with his gene splicing tools or whatever it was he did, and 4 years later we had a tobacco plant and all the production team at The Simpsons tasted it and all the rest of it. But that was an example of The Simpsons creating the future rather than the other way round.
I suppose that one was a smoking fruit instead of a smoking gun situation.
I think probably. I mean, there are other things that are interesting. I see you have a smartwatch.
Yes.
Predicted by The Simpsons 20 years before. But how many of us had said one day we'll be wearing computers on our wrists?
Yeah, I mean that was obviously the way it was going. You're going smaller and smaller.
I mean the best one, I think the most wonderful one, not for them, but from looking in from the outside, was the prediction that possibly one of Siegfried and Roy might actually get mauled by the very dangerous tigers they work with on a daily basis. Yeah. To a certain extent, that seemed to be a fair summation of what the future would bring for those unlucky duo. So there are various things like that, but there are some really odd ones as well. The most fantastic one I can think of is when Lisa went to London and they did a scan of the skyline, and there's Big Ben, which is digital, which is a lovely touch anyway. Yeah. But bizarrely behind it, there is the Shard. Right. In the right place. I mean, yes, it's just a sort of triangular building in the background, but it's actually apparently in the right place, and that was quite an astute prediction for something that didn't exist at that point and hadn't even been planned for. Right.
Okay. Let's move over to Kim quickly and just see what she's got. Kim, what you got first?
Well, I think really we've come down to the idea that The Simpsons are giving ideas that are being picked up. Yep. We've got. Well, Trump 16 years ago, but then he's in the...
It's possible.
He's in the National Eye, isn't he?
Yeah. Then we got the Three-Eyed Fish. We got 3 years. Game of Thrones comes after 3 years. We got the tobacco plant, and 20 years on the smartwatch, and the Shard.
So it sounds like we have to blame The Simpsons for Trump. Is that what you're saying?
It looks like it, but...
Gave him the idea.
We're not saying that. We're not necessarily saying that. Right, okay. Well, that is it. That's it.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for on our last instalment of Conspiracy Theories.
If you guys are going to miss our conspiracy theories, let us know on Instagram and Twitter.
Moving on, our theme this week is secret societies. Alongside the mysteries and conspiracies we've spoken about today, here are some other ones that we just can't wrap our heads around.
So, Freemasonry. This is most probably the most well-known one after the Illuminati, if not before the Illuminati, possibly even. Obviously, connections between the two of them. They believe that the Freemasons were the ones who founded America. George Washington and the guy with the kite. Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
That's the fella. He were meant to be Freemasons, which is obviously quite an interesting thought around the whole founding of it. You then go into Britain, you go to some of the greatest murders well known, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, where all those women at Whitechapel that were murdered just to cover up an illegitimate child of Prince Edward.
Horrendous, just horrendous.
Exactly.
But also, supposedly, Freemasonry, again, along the whole system. Another one, JFK, something that we obviously looked into back in the first episode. Yeah. And Freemasonry again. Freemasons again, they seem to pop up all over the place. It's quite astounding. If you look into America more, you can see that some of the street names down Washington, D.C. have Freemason sort of connotations to them. Their seals. If you look at a dollar bill, they've got the Freemason symbol supposedly on them. I mean, these are some quite creepy thoughts around this. And then obviously you've got the judicial system, obviously in this country, the Old Bailey, and people who work high up in there are letting other Freemasons who have done bad things slightly off, which obviously is, you know, not fair.
Well, yeah, that does happen because you only have to compare the different sentences for similar offences.
Exactly, it's frightening. And then obviously Apollo, which obviously we looked at last week, the moon landings, Freemasons. So they seem to have their claws in everything. And talking about claws, lizard people as well. That's another one that they believe is the Freemasons. And we can confirm, obviously, I'm not a lizard person because you have to be over 30, and I'm not over 30 yet. So that's fair enough to do that. So concerning that all these things they have their claws into, and they seem to still be going on to this day, Freemasonry, which is obviously
But we know that.
A real...
It's open now. Everybody knows about Freemasons now.
It's a concern. I mean, you know, once again, something that The Simpsons involved in again. But once again, that is literally all we have on Theme Theories now for forever.
Wow. Who knew there were so many suspicious secret societies? Well, that's all we have time for on Theme Theories. But before we wrap up, let's have a look at what you guys have had to say about our show over the series.
And now on to your comments on social media. We asked, what has been your favourite thing we have covered so far? Bethany XO says Area 51. Area 51, of course, looked at last week.
Yes, we did.
Obviously, Dissecting of Aliens.
That's right, yes.
Which is a bit of the big thing they do there.
What happened, what haven't we covered that you wanted to know about at Shannon Shanoff Brexit?
Oh, that's a long one.
When was that?
We haven't got a long enough show, I think, to do the Brexit one. That'll be what, 3 episodes of them at least? What has been your favourite moment on the show so far? Toby confirmed _ says Kim saying speaking of Tool, then looking at David. Obviously, it's not true. Not true. Not a lizard. And at Danny Mortimer was David saying, the mystery board. Well, the mystery board seems to be having its own fan base now, it would seem.
Charles Straw, my favourite bit of the show has been the mystery board. Always there to provide the hard facts we want and need.
Yeah, literally going to get its own show. The mystery board is going to get its own spin-off.
You think so?
Yeah, behind the mystery board. At Sheway Live, love the Alien video, great stuff. Alien didn't feel the same way, I'm sorry to say. Did it?
Not at the end.
No, didn't feel that. And at Emma Howsam Kiss, it's such an interesting show. Definitely a gap in the market, and can't wait for the final episode tonight. Well, not much longer to come, because the show is about to happen.
Yes, it is, in a few hours.
Yeah, not long to go now.
Those were some of the great tweets. We're glad to see how much you guys have enjoyed the show over the past couple of months.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for, which means that we have come to the end of the series. We've had a great time over the course of the series. On behalf of myself and all the Behind the Mystery team, we would like to thank you, each and every one of you, for engaging with our show and interacting with all the mysteries of the world. We've had a fantastic time.
We also hope you enjoyed the other show that has aired alongside us, Much to Say About Nothing.
And remember that whilst the season is over, there are so many mysteries to explore. Let us know what you think about any mystery that interests you. So for the final time, thank you for joining us, and
Goodbye.